This is the yang habit. The more we do, the more we will gain. This is against Lao Tzu's philosophy of less is more. The time is money mantra has affected martial arts, transforming them into a predominantly yang activity with a depletion of yin. As a result, many martial artists develop rigid, over-disciplined personalities. They fear to change their habits and routines, which puts them out of sync with the ever-changing Tao. As a result, they essentially become prisoners to their discipline. The martial arts were built on the function and harmony of life, yin over yang, as yin is where the true source of power resides. When we overreach in martial arts from excessive yang, we are usually thrown to the ground and defeated. In the highly eclectic Korean martial art Hapkido, extremely similar to the Japanese Aikido, when your opponent overreaches, you only need to feel her energy and movement, which requires no effort. As a result, your opponent will fall to the ground without any force or effort on your part. It is the art of avoiding resistance. Residing in yin, you move with your opponent's movement, which is often full of yang force. Though you may absorb the blow somewhat, you don't feel it, because you are the pivot of balance between yin and yang in their perpetual dance. Hapkido is focused on yin cultivation. In fact, all martial arts are designed to cultivate yin, but we are often seduced by the power and force we attain from yang. A world deficient in yin has no idea how to cultivate it. Often our attempts are laced with yang and only contribute to more deficiency. This is common with martial artists who are attracted only to the yang aspect of the craft. Anyone who is over-disciplined in any craft will have a rigid mind. This rigid mind often has trouble flowing in conversations and listening deeply to the other person without the yang habit of waiting for their turn to speak, usually about oneself. You feel this distinct tension in this kind of person, not so much in their posture but in their eyes and speech. There is a distinct stiffness in their words that results from being too disciplined. This overuses the analytical mind. This mind is stiff. Even the positivity of such people has a stench of fakeness to it. For example, when an over-disciplined, rigid mind speaks, the individual often displays an attitude implying that she is cool with everything, even though the other person can sense that she is pretending. It is the analytical intellect assuming that if we practice some form of spiritual cultivation, then we should be good and moral people who are incapable of harming an ant. We should essentially be goody two-shoes. This is an incorrect perspective because, again, we are dissecting the world into parts that are exclusively good and bad rather than following the natural inclusivity of nature. We are often possessed with the idea of who I should be rather than who I am. We over-discipline ourselves to attain who we should be, but this idea is based on social beliefs. To try and reach this destination is an endless journey to nowhere because it is driven by the yang of the external world. We cannot be actively doing in the hope that we will become better people. In fact, we deplete our system with this attitude, which in turn contributes to the destruction of the world.